they don't know me very well because I refuse to shut up and dribble. And I got to a point where, I mean, these panopticons exist in everyday life, in education, in politics, in media, social media, in sport. And I thought it would be better. Some of you are probably thinking of some right now. I thought it would be better to share my experience as an athlete because maybe it would resonate more. But in reality, it's more applicable in more ways than one. And I got to a point where I realized that I was making people feel a little bit more comfortable than I needed to be. I'm unapologetically black in every fabric and every essence, and I promised myself that I wouldn't compensate my values. I shouldn't have to compensate my values, my ethics, my culture in order to make other people feel a little bit more secure. So many things have been institutionalized to strip the essence and the fabric of who people are, especially people of color, dating back in education and in modern society, dating back to when they used to send indigenous people and natives to conversion schools to remove culture, to strip, to take away their religion, to cut their hair, and to redirect their youth. And this is an old version of panopticons that existed, and the foundation still remains to this day. Like, okay, Jaylen, like, I hear you talking about panopticism and dynamic normalization and all this stuff. We get it, but how do we break it? Like, this is something that's been here and is gonna be here for a long period of time. I would argue that it's already breaking. The first step is to be aware, and you guys have achieved that, most of you. To be aware that something exists, to be unaware that something exists will allow you to do little to nothing to change it. And I think the second step is to push the envelope. And what that looks like is things have changed a lot post-COVID. Establishments have changed forms, et cetera. And so continue to push the envelope, because how things looked 10 years ago is different from how they look now. Are there any science majors in the house? Great, so, okay, science majors know that hydrogen is in everything. Hydrogen is an element of life. When they finally confirmed that there was life on Mars, it's because there was hydrogen particles found in the soil, right? And for hydrogen bonds to change forms, they must break those bonds. And how you do that, one of those adhesives is heat and pressure. And keep that in mind, that activism is the heat and the pressure, and these bonds need to be broken. The physical bonds might have broken through slavery, but those psychological bonds are still there, and that fight has continued. And people would much rather me keep the same form that they know me in as being an athlete, but they don't know me very well because I refuse to shut up and dribble. And shut up and dribble is a concept that's gained attention recently, but I really think it's the viewpoint of America, right? Athletes and people of color are not allowed to have contributions to society. They're taught to go home, do their job, entertain us, play basketball, and go home. That's all you get to do. And that's been the notion for far too long. When I entered the draft, I didn't hire an agent. I had an advisory team, and I used the Players Association. And I think this rubbed people the wrong way because it was a breaking of a panopticon. People were it made one person so mad, possibly he chose not to draft me because he said that I was too smart to be in the NBA. To this day, I don't know what that means. But if you pay attention, things are changing right in front of us, like I said before. Society, post-COVID, social temperature, and those hydrogen bonds are breaking. Panopticism is shifting. If we continue to add pressure, we can continue to push forward. And you can use athletes as an example of how things are possibly changing. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or even maybe 7 years ago, I don't think it was common to see athletes who are musicians, politicians, on stage speaking now, who are VCs, and the list goes on. Now, I think it's a much more comfortable climate for athletes and people to do things like that. So that's just a small example of how panopticism is changing and how dynamic normalization is changing because they are trying to keep everybody in the same model. And an idea that I learned at MIT to kind of conceptualize the breaking of panopticism and dynamic normalization is dinosaurs and frogs. Jaylen, what are you talking about, dinosaurs and frogs? The dinosaur and the frog existed during the same period of time, right? The dinosaur is extinct. The frog is smaller, versatile, takes up less space, and is still alive to this day. Dinosaurs represent prehistoric social norms, social constructs, and ideas such as like, I gotta go to college to be successful. I need to wear a suit to look professional. Or if you're a woman, I need to stay at home and work. And I need to stay at home and raise the kids, and I don't need to work. These are old prehistoric social norms that a lot of people still believe, but have changed a lot over time. The frog represents progressiveness, where in reality, you don't have to go to college to be successful. Excuse me, teachers. People are pressing a button on a computer and being successful through social media, through playing video games. In reality, you don't have to wear a suit to look professional. I don't have a suit on right now. And people have red, blue, yellow, and green hair and are just as qualified. And the dinosaur is extinct. The frog is progressiveness and learn to evolve with the times. So which one are you? We need to continue to push the envelope. We need to continue to break those hydrogen bonds that exist by adding heat and pressure, which is activism. So Berkeley is like the home of that. Keep that up, guys. And I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you.